All right, let's dive into the world of Sufism today.
Okay, sounds good.
We're going to be exploring this fascinating memoir by Nuha Mim Keller
Mm-hmm.
called Sea Without Shore to kind of uncover what it actually means
Right.
to walk the Sufi path.
Yeah.
And not just the theory, but like
Right.
the actual lived experience of someone who's really
Yeah.
dedicated their life to it.
Yeah, what's so captivating about Keller's story is that he wasn't,
Right.
born into this tradition.
Yeah.
He was an American convert who actively sought out these authentic teachers and really immersed himself in
Right.
this rich spiritual lineage.
And it wasn't just about reading books for him.
Yeah.
He was all about finding the right guides.
Yeah.
The sheikhs who could really lead him on this path
Mm-hmm.
and get this. There's this story where he's with his sheikh, Abdul Rahman,
Okay.
and he asks him a question about prayer.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think, right? Somebody who's been practicing for so long would just
Oh, yeah, you would think.
know the answer off the top of their head.
It seems like a simple question.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what does Sheikh Abd al-Rahman do?
Okay.
He pulls out a reference book
Wow.
to find specific hadiths
Really?
to support his answer.
That's incredible.
Isn't that interesting?
Talk about emphasizing the importance of grounding
Right.
your understanding in authentic sources. I mean,
Mhm.
it really shows that this isn't about,
Yeah.
personal interpretations or whimsical spirituality.
Yeah, it's about a disciplined path
Yeah.
that's very much rooted in the Islamic tradition.
Mm-hmm.
And that path leads him to some
Right.
truly remarkable shades.
Yeah.
And each one, it seems, had their own
Oh, yeah.
unique personality and approach.
Different personalities, for
Like
sure.
Sheikh Abd al-Wakil,
Okay.
who was all about this direct transmission of knowledge
Right.
and strict adherence to Islamic law.
Yeah, you couldn't just pick up a book
Right.
and call yourself a scholar.
Right. There's this
There's a lineage,
chain of transmission.
a chain
Yeah.
that connects you back to the source of the knowledge.
And it's fascinating how he experienced this firsthand
Right.
with all these different sheikhs.
With all these different teachers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Take Sheikh Yunus, for example.
Okay.
He was much more introspective,
Interesting.
preferring a more private approach to Sufism.
Really highlights the diversity within the
Mhm.
tradition, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Different approaches, different personalities,
Yeah.
but yet all pointing towards that same core,
Yeah.
that purification of character and
Well,
closeness to Allah.
Like different paths
Yeah.
leading up the same mountain,
Right.
each with their own challenges and rewards.
Mm.
But what's striking is the level of dedication
Yeah.
that these sheiks embody.
Absolutely.
Remember Sheikh Adel?
Okay.
He used to stick a needle in his hand to stay awake during Stiyush.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
That's incredible.
I mean,
Makes you realize the depth of their commitment,
yeah.
right?
And then there's the story of Haji Baba,
Okay.
the shopkeeper in Istanbul.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he wasn't a renowned scholar,
Okay.
but he possessed this profound spiritual insight.
Interesting.
It was all about
Right.
conquering the ego and living a life
Yeah.
steeped in faith and God consciousness. And, despite their unique personalities,
Yeah.
all these sheikhs pointed Keller
Mm-hmm.
towards the essence of what's called Tasawwuf Amali,
Okay.
practical Sufism.
Interesting.
It's not just about these mystical experiences
Right.
or abstract concepts.
Yeah.
It's about actively walking the path,
Yeah.
refining your character,
Mm.
deepening your connection with the divine.
It's an active path.
And that path, it seems,
Right.
requires this delicate balance.
Mm-hmm.
On the one hand, there's the strict adherence to Islamic law,
Yeah.
making sure your actions align with divine guidance.
Right.
But on the other hand,
There's the inward journey. Purifying your heart.
yes.
Drawing closer to Allah.
And how crucial is knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
ilm,
Yeah.
in all of this?
Oh, yeah.
It seems like it plays a key role
Absolutely.
in guiding someone towards genuine understanding.
It's about understanding God,
Yeah.
the universe,
Right.
and your place within it.
Yeah.
And Keller emphasizes the importance of
Yeah.
traditional Islamic theology
Right.
in achieving that understanding.
Okay, so we've got this idea of purifying the heart,
Yeah.
deepening our connection with the divine,
Right.
guided by knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But where does Deeker
Okay.
fit into all of this?
Yeah, good question.
Keller seems to highlight it
Right.
as a central practice
It is a central practice.
in Sufism.
Or the remembrance of Allah. It's
Yeah.
like a constant polishing of the heart. It's not just about reciting words,
Right.
but about cultivating that state of awareness, of presence, of connection with the divine.
So it's more than just a ritual.
Right.
It's a practice aimed at attaining spiritual realization.
Yeah, and Keller actually goes into detail
Yeah.
about the specific forms of dhikr practiced
Yes.
within the Shahili order.
Yeah, he talks about
Okay.
the Wud Alam,
Mm-hmm.
that daily litany of invocations.
Yeah, and then there's the Khalwa,
Right.
the spiritual retreat,
Yeah.
which sounds incredibly intense.
Yeah, he describes days of constant dhikr, minimal sleep,
Wow.
a complete immersion in the divine presence.
Yeah.
Really pushes you to your limits.
But as Keller points out,
Yeah.
it's not just about passively chanting.
Yeah.
It's about mujahada,
Right.
that struggle against your own ego.
Yes, those negative impulses.
Negative impulses.
They're trying to pull you away from the path.
Right.
He even mentions this concept of marifa al-kawatir,
Okay.
knowledge of the inception of thoughts.
Interesting.
It's like being a vigilant gatekeeper
Right.
of your own mind, recognizing those negative thoughts
Before they take root.
before they take root and become actions.
Right.
That's such a powerful idea.
It is.
It's not just about suppressing thoughts,
Right.
but about understanding their origins
Yeah.
and consciously choosing a different path.
Yeah. I like that.
And what's incredible is how Keller connects all of this
Right.
to modern life.
Right.
You might think Sufism is
Yeah.
something from a bygone era,
Yeah.
but he shows how these ancient practices
Right.
are surprisingly relevant to the
Mhm.
challenges we face today.
Yeah, he tackles topics
Yeah.
like ethical finances, finding purpose in your work,
Right.
even navigating family life in the digital age.
It's like taking these timeless principles
Yeah,
and applying them to our modern dilemmas.
absolutely.
Really makes you wonder
Mm-hmm.
how these teachings can guide us
Right.
in a world that's constantly changing and evolving.
Yeah, and that's where we'll pick up
Yeah.
in the next part of our deep dives.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll explore how Keller brings these ancient practices to life
Yeah.
in the context of modern life.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Stay tuned. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How these ancient teachings can still feel so relevant today.
Yeah.
Keller doesn't just talk about these like lofty spiritual states.
Right.
He offers like real practical advice
Yeah.
on how to live a God-centered life,
Hmm.
even amidst the hustle and bustle of the modern world.
It's about weaving spirituality into the very fabric of our existence.
Yeah,
Right. Not just relegating it to
Yeah.
a specific time or place.
Right.
And one area where this really comes alive
Yeah.
is in Keller's discussion of work.
Uh-huh.
It's fascinating how he reframes work as a form of worship,
It is interesting.
as a way of fulfilling your obligations to the community,
Right?
and even as a means of spiritual struggle.
yeah, it completely flips the script
Yeah.
and the whole work-life balance idea.
Doesn't it?
Right.
It's not about seeing work as something to be endured
Right.
or escaped from.
Yeah.
It becomes integrated into your
Mhm.
spiritual journey.
Uh-huh.
And Keller is very specific about what that integration looks like.
Okay.
He talks about choosing halal income,
Right.
avoiding things like usury,
Mm-hmm.
and intending to benefit the community through your work.
So aligning your actions with your beliefs.
Yeah.
Even in the realm of finances.
Yeah. And he grapples with like the real life dilemmas of this.
Yeah.
You know, there's this story where he asks his sheikh, Abdul Wakil,
Okay.
about the ethics of taking a salary from the government,
Right?
considering its potential involvement
Oh, wow.
in questionable financial practices.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I'm curious, what did the sheikh say?
Well, the sheikh acknowledges that,
Yeah.
navigating the modern world can be incredibly complex.
Yeah.
It's not always easy to avoid
Yeah.
every potential source of haram income,
Right.
but he emphasizes the importance of striving to do your best, making conscious choices, seeking Allah's guidance
Yeah.
in those gray areas.
It's a very pragmatic approach, isn't it?
It is.
It recognizes the challenges, but encourages us
Yeah,
to make ethical decisions
right.
within the systems we find ourselves in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about earning money ethically.
Right.
Keller also talks about how to approach wealth and possessions
Yeah.
from a Sufi perspective.
Okay.
He emphasizes generosity,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of avoiding hoarding,
Yeah.
and using your wealth for beneficial purposes.
So supporting your family,
Yeah.
giving to charity,
Right.
contributing to your community.
It's not about asceticism,
Right.
but a balanced,
Yeah.
mindful approach to what you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've covered work, finances, possessions.
Right.
What about leisure time?
Okay.
Where does that fit into the Sufi path?
Well, Keller reminds us to choose wholesome activities
Okay.
that don't distract us from our spiritual goals.
Right.
He cautions against excessive entertainment,
Mm.
mindless consumption, and things that might be considered makruh or disliked in Islam.
And this was before the internet and social media really took over our lives.
I know, right? It's like he had a premonition
It's like he had a premonition.
about the challenges these technologies would bring.
Totally.
Yeah, he warned about how the internet could lead to addiction,
Right?
wasted time,
Yeah.
and exposure to harmful content.
Right?
He encourages us to use it for beneficial purposes, like
Yeah.
learning or connecting with others meaningfully.
Right.
But to set limits and avoid aimless scrolling,
It's like he was prescribing a digital detox
you know.
decades before it became a trendy thing.
Right.
And he didn't just talk about individuals.
Mm-hmm.
He gave specific guidelines for families,
Like what?
like setting screen time limits,
Okay.
using parental control software,
Right.
and encouraging things like reading.
It's all about being mindful of how we spend our time,
Right.
choosing activities that nourish our souls,
Right.
rather than deplete us.
Yeah. And this mindfulness extends to relationships, too,
Yeah.
especially marriage and family life.
Uh-huh.
Keller is very clear about choosing a spouse
Right.
who shares your religious values
Mhm.
and commitment to the path.
Right. It's not just about compatibility on a
Yeah.
surface level. It's
No.
about finding someone who will support your spiritual growth.
And he gets into the nitty-gritty of marriage, too.
Does he?
He stresses the importance of patience,
Okay.
communication,
Right.
and striving to live by Islamic principles
Hmm.
within the relationship.
Yeah.
He even talks about concealing past sins from your spouse.
Interesting.
It's about safeguarding each other's privacy
Right.
and building a future together
Right.
based on righteousness.
So fostering an environment
Yes.
of trust and mutual support
Yeah.
where both partners can help each other
Right.
draw closer to Allah.
He's also realistic, though.
Okay.
He acknowledges that divorce is sometimes necessary, but encourages couples to exhaust all other options.
Especially when children are involved.
Right.
So-
It's a nuanced perspective that recognizes
right?
the complexities of marriage
Yeah.
while still upholding its sanctity in Islam
Mm-hmm.
and all this guidance on how to live,
Right.
how to relate to others,
Yeah.
how to navigate the world.
Mm-hmm.
It all points back to that deeper question.
What's that?
What does it truly mean to know Allah?
Good question.
Keller suggests that it's not merely
Right.
an intellectual pursuit.
It's not just about reading books.
Right. It's an experiential,
Right.
transformative journey.
He uses the term marifa,
Right.
which goes beyond intellectual understanding
Yeah.
to a deep intuitive knowing.
And he highlights this beautiful concept of ihsan,
Mm-hmm.
worshiping Allah as though you see him, of
Beautiful.
recognizing his presence in every moment.
Yeah. It's profound, isn't it?
It is.
And there's this story where he's discussing this with his sheikh,
Okay.
the nature of spiritual vision. And the sheikh distinguishes between
Okay.
seeing with the eye and seeing with the heart.
See with the heart. I love that.
Yeah.
How did he explain that?
He said it's about perceiving the world
Okay.
through the lens of divine presence,
Mm-hmm.
understanding that everything exists through Allah.
It's like realizing that the material world
Yeah.
is a reflection of a deeper,
Right.
more profound reality.
It's about shifting your perspective
Yeah.
from seeing the world as a collection of separate objects
Right?
to recognizing the underlying unity
Yeah.
and interconnectedness of all things.
This is powerful stuff.
It is.
But it also raises some challenging questions.
Like
Like the problem of suffering.
okay, yeah.
How can a merciful God allow such things to happen?
Right.
Now, Keller doesn't shy away
He doesn't.
from this difficult topic.
Yeah.
He explores various perspectives
Okay.
on why suffering exists.
Mm-hmm.
One idea is that it can be a consequence of our own actions,
Right.
a reminder of our accountability, and the need for repentance.
Right.
There's also the idea that suffering can be a test,
Uh-huh.
an opportunity to strengthen our faith
Mm.
and draw closer to Allah.
He mentions a powerful hadith
Yeah.
where Allah says, I am with the patient.
Even in hardship, Allah's presence
Right.
offers solace and strength.
Right.
And then there's the idea that suffering might be a means of purification,
Uh-huh.
stripping away our attachments to the material world
Right.
and turning our hearts towards the divine.
Keller uses the metaphor of fire refining gold,
Yeah.
burning away impurities to reveal its true beauty.
It suggests that even the most painful experiences
Yeah.
can serve a transformative purpose.
Absolutely.
And he brings in this framework of divine names and attributes
Okay.
to help us understand suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Names like Al-Musit the Just
Right.
or Al-Hakim the Wise
Right.
might manifest through suffering
Yeah.
to bring about a greater good or teach us valuable lessons.
It's about seeing suffering through a different lens, recognizing the hand of God, even in hardship.
But Keller doesn't offer simplistic answers.
Right.
He acknowledges that the full wisdom of divine decree
Right.
might be beyond our comprehension.
Yeah.
He encourages us to trust in Allah's mercy and justice,
Right.
even when we don't understand his ways. And connected to this is the idea of detachment from the material world.
Okay.
Keller reminds us that this life is fleeting.
Yeah.
Our true home is with Allah.
He quotes a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Okay.
advised, "Be in this world as though you were a stranger or a traveler going down the road."
It's a potent reminder to prioritize our spiritual aspirations over worldly pursuits,
Yeah.
to recognize that everything in this life is temporary.
Keller challenges us to rethink our relationship with the world, to shift our focus from material accumulation to spiritual growth.
From chasing fleeting pleasures to seeking lasting fulfillment.
And he doesn't just leave us with these abstract ideas. He offers practical advice on cultivating this detachment,
Okay.
emphasizing gratitude, contentment, and focusing on what truly matters, our relationship with Allah.
He even brings this down to earth,
Does he?
talking about approaching things like eating and drinking with mindfulness and gratitude.
There's a story where he mentions his Sheikh Abdul Rahman always reciting Bismillah before eating and Alhamdulillah afterward.
It's a reminder to remember Allah, even in the simplest acts.
Yeah.
Right.
It's about bringing that awareness of the divine into every aspect of our lives.
And that awareness extends to how we interact with others.
Right.
Keller stresses the importance of good character, kindness, compassion as essential elements of the Sufi path.
He talks about Husn al-Khuluq, beautiful character, embodying traits like generosity, humility, patience, trustworthiness.
He even quotes a hadith where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, described a believer as gracious company.
It's about being someone who brings joy and benefit to others.
And Keller's descriptions of his sheiks really bring these qualities to life.
That's it.
Their patience, generosity, humility, their dedication to guiding their students.
It's inspiring.
It's inspiring. And this emphasis on embodying spiritual principles
Yeah.
also comes up in Keller's discussion of interfaith dialogue. He explores the Islamic perspective on salvation.
Okay.
He acknowledges that while Islam
Right.
is the final and complete revelation, those who lived before its advent might still find salvation
Okay.
if they follow the guidance that they received.
Interesting.
He cites the Quranic verse, "Verily those who believe, and those of Jewry, the Christians, the Sabaeans, whoever, shall believe in Allah and the last day and work righteousness, they shall have their wage with their Lord and are not to be feared for, nor shall they grieve."
Wow, that's a powerful verse.
It's a message of inclusivity and hope, recognizing that those who sincerely seek God might find salvation, even if they haven't embraced Islam.
But Keller's clear that Islam is the final and complete revelation,
Yes.
superseding previous scriptures.
Right. Once the message of Islam is conveyed,
Right.
he explains it becomes the ultimate measure of truth. Those who reject it after hearing it
Right.
do so at their own peril.
Yeah, it's a nuanced perspective
It is.
that acknowledges religious diversity
Right.
while affirming the centrality of Islam
Yeah.
within Keller's own worldview.
And it's interesting how he tackles the topic of evolution.
Oh, really?
He doesn't shy away from
Perfect.
potential conflict
Yeah.
between this scientific theory
Right.
and the Islamic understanding of creation.
Mm-hmm.
He acknowledges that the idea of one species
Right.
evolving into another isn't inherently impossible in Islam.
Okay.
But he points out that the Quran specifically describes the creation of Adam from clay and the breathing of Allah's spirit into him.
Yeah.
This divine revelation provides a clear account of human creation
Right.
that differs from the gradual process proposed by evolution.
Right.
Keller also explains the concept of wajib al-aradi,
Okay.
contingent necessity,
Interesting.
where certain things are impossible not because they're logically inconceivable, but because Allah has told us they won't occur.
Right.
And since Allah's word is truth,
Right.
those pronouncements are absolute,
Yeah.
even in the face of scientific theories.
So Keller's discussion of evolution highlights the need to reconcile scientific knowledge with divine revelation. It's about recognizing the potential for conflict,
Right.
but prioritizing the Quran and Sunnah as the ultimate sources of truth.
It's a delicate balancing act.
It is.
Especially in today's world.
Right.
And it requires discernment, the ability to differentiate genuine knowledge from speculation, scientific facts from philosophical interpretations.
Keller stresses the importance of relying on authentic Islamic scholarship.
Seeking guidance from those who have deeply studied
Right.
the Quran, Sunnah, and the works of respected Islamic scholars.
It's about grounding our understanding in the tradition, seeking knowledge from those who carry the legacy of prophetic teachings.
Keller's book doesn't offer all the answers,
Right.
but it gives us a framework for approaching these questions
Yeah.
with honesty, sincerity,
Right.
and a commitment to seeking truth.
Yeah. I like that.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, isn't it?
It is.
Engaging with these challenging ideas,
Right.
exploring different perspectives, and ultimately deepening our understanding of ourselves and the world.
It's about expanding our horizons,
Yeah.
questioning assumptions, and drawing closer to the source of all knowledge and wisdom, Allah.
And to explore that further, we'll delve into another crucial aspect of Keller's journey in the final part of our deep dive. You know, it's incredible how Sea Without Shore reads almost like a guidebook,
Yeah.
like a map for navigating this intricate world of Sufism.
It is.
But it's not just about concepts and theories.
Right.
It's about the people you know,
Yeah.
the living tradition.
It's a lived tradition
Down
for generations.
And Keller emphasizes that this isn't a journey you can just take on your own.
Right.
You need a guide,
You need a guide.
an authentic teacher,
An authentic teacher.
a sheikh who can lead you through the twists and turns of the path.
It's like he went on this quest for guidance, right?
He did.
Meeting all these different sheiks.
Yeah.
And each encounter kind of shaped his understanding of
It
Sufism.
shapes his understanding.
Yeah.
For sure.
It makes you realize how crucial that mentorship is.
It is crucial.
Keller actually outlines
Does he?
the qualities of a true sheikh.
Okay.
Someone who has received an ijazah.
That's an authorization to teach
Right.
from their own teacher.
Right.
And of course, someone who embodies the principles of Sufism in their life.
So it's not just about
Well,
having read all the books.
Yeah, it's about that.
It's about that lived experience.
Lived experience.
That state of spiritual realization.
Yeah, finding someone who can transmit not just information, but
a way of being.
a way of being. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Keller talks about the importance of surrendering to your sheikh's guidance,
Right.
respecting the lineage of knowledge
Right.
passed down through generations.
It's a chain of transmission going all the way back.
He even cautioned against taking spiritual advice from just anyone,
Oh, really?
highlighting the potential dangers
Yeah.
of following unqualified teachers.
Right. It's like
Yeah.
you wouldn't go to just anyone for medical advice, would you?
Right, exactly.
You'd seek out
You'd seek out a qualified professional.
a qualified professional.
That's the same
Yeah.
with spiritual guidance.
And the student-teacher relationship in Sufism is very unique, isn't it?
It is unique.
Keller talks about adab.
Okay.
That's the proper manners and conduct
Right.
that a murid or disciple should observe towards their sheikh.
So it's about approaching the relationship
Yeah.
with humility, respect, and recognizing the sheikh as a conduit of divine grace.
It's a beautiful dynamic.
It is.
And it makes me think about
Yeah.
the community aspect of Sufism.
Okay.
Keller doesn't just focus on the individual journey.
Right.
He talks about the importance of connecting with other
Yeah.
seekers on the path.
Finding companionship and support within a community of like-minded individuals.
He talks about the baraka, the blessings that
Yeah.
come from gathering together for dhikr,
Right.
sharing meals,
Yeah.
learning from each other's experiences.
It's like creating a spiritual support system
Yeah.
where everyone can help each other along the way. And Keller doesn't shy away from addressing the challenges
Right.
that come up within communities.
Those in communities, yeah.
He talks about the importance of good character, avoiding gossip,
Yeah.
resolving conflicts peacefully.
Right. It's a reminder that
Right.
even within a spiritual community,
Yeah.
you're still dealing with people
You are.
with their flaws and imperfections.
Right.
But by striving to embody those qualities of Isan, we can create an environment that's conducive to spiritual growth.
So we have this roadmap, this guidance on finding a teacher, connecting with a community. But what about the daily practice? What does it actually look like to live this Sufi-inspired life?
Well, Keller's very practical here. He talks about establishing a daily routine of spiritual practices.
Like what?
Things like dhikr prayer, Quran recitation and reflection.
He even recommends specific words or litanies that you can recite to deepen your connection with Allah.
Interesting.
It sounds like a very intentional way of structuring your day around your spiritual aspirations.
He emphasizes the importance of consistency.
Yeah.
Perseverance, making time for these practices.
It's not about seeing them as burdens,
but
as opportunities to nourish your soul.
And Keller provides guidance on navigating modern life in a way that aligns with Sufi principles.
Things like choosing halal food and drink. Avoiding extravagance. Using your resources wisely. Even using the internet and technology in a beneficial way.
It's about bringing that God consciousness into every single aspect of your life.
And ultimately, it's all pointing towards that ultimate goal of Sufism.
And what's that?
The realization of Tawhid. The oneness of God.
Keller describes this realization as a state of complete immersion in the divine presence. A merging of the self with the beloved.
He uses these beautiful metaphors like a drop of water dissolving into the ocean or a ray of light returning to the sun.
It's a state of profound unity where all duality disappears. And you experience the ultimate truth of your existence.
It sounds almost indescribable.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does.
But even if we don't reach complete realization in this life, Keller emphasizes that the journey itself is transformative.
Every step you take towards Allah, every act of worship, every effort to purify your heart brings you closer.
And even if complete realization remains a distant goal, the journey itself brings incredible blessings.
It does.
Peace, joy, purpose.
Keller's book leaves you with this sense of hope and possibility. It's like a reminder that the path to knowing Allah is open to anyone who sincerely seeks Him.
It's a journey that requires effort, dedication.
The guidance of a teacher, but it's a journey worth taking.
Sea Without Shore is more than just a memoir.
It's more than a memoir.
It's a guidebook. A testament to the transformative power of Sufism.
Absolutely.
And its enduring relevance.
Even in today's world.
Even in today's world.
As you reflect on Keller's journey and all the wisdom that he shares, what resonates most deeply with you?
What calls to your heart?
This deep dive has given us so much to think about.
It really has.
It sparked a curiosity in me to explore more, maybe delve into the writings of the Sufi masters, or even seek out a teacher.
That's beautiful.
Whatever path you choose, may your journey be filled with blessings, insight, and a deepening connection with the divine